So far with this rat, this is a female rat, we skinned the rat, exposing the abdominal region. We cut into the abdomen. We've explored and looked at the various organs within the abdominal region. So for example, and actually between the last video and this video, I actually took this rat and rinsed it a bit because it's very smelly with the preservative, and it was kind of burning, get almost a burning sensation in the eyes. So again, here's a really quick rundown of the things we saw. Before we go further, we're going to go into the excretory system in this video, but if we look in here, we can see the diaphragm. It's this very flat muscle. It's skeletal muscle. It's involved in breathing. So that marks the border between the thoracic region and the abdominal region. We found the esophagus. It goes to the stomach. And this is now actually can be seen very easily now. This is the pancreas, sort of a yellowish material mixed in with some connective tissue and so forth. Right below the stomach is the spleen. Right, so this is sort of a crescent-shaped or banana-shaped structure. Then we went to the small intestine, and we did all this before we went to small intestine. This other thing is called the cecum. It's like a pouch. And then we went to the large intestine or colon, and then to the rectum, and then the anus. That would connect to the anus. So what we're gonna do now is remove all of that, so we can get to the urinary system. So let's go ahead and remove a lot of this so we can get in and see the urinary system in more detail. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to cut through the esophagus, which comes through the diaphragm. I'm going to see if I can remove the stomach. So here's the stomach coming out. There's more pancreas. That's the yellow material there. Okay, so the stomach is out. Here's the spleen. So you can see it's got this crescent shape or banana shape. So I'm going to cut that out. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is get down to the kidneys. And there's more material here. Most of this material that's left over is still more liver. So there's a tremendous amount of liver. We removed most of it last time. So I'm keeping the blades not too deep. I'm not poking into it. I'm keeping the blades a little bit up. I'm going to remove most of this just to get it out of the way. That was the large intestine. Okay, so it's there. I'll leave a bit of it there. Actually, I'm going to remove most of it so we can see better. So that's the large intestine there. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to focus on the kidneys right now. So you can see there are two kidneys. And what we want to look for is the ureters, as well as the arteries and veins going into the kidneys. So, and also the adrenal glands. So what I'm going to do is try and get at some of this connective tissue that overlies the kidneys. The adrenal glands, actually, let me point them out again just in case they get destroyed by accident. Sitting right on top of each kidney is an adrenal gland. Okay, it's a little hard to see. I'm pointing right at it. It's right there on that side, and here's the adrenal gland on the other side right there. It's sort of a little bit yellowish in color. Okay, so what I want to do now is kind of remove this overlying connective tissue. So you can see that the kidneys lie very far back in the abdomen, essentially right up against the back. So the kidneys are very vulnerable. They can be damaged. And that's why in certain sports like boxing, you're not allowed to punch someone in the back there, because that could damage the kidneys. They're very sensitive. So let's see. Trying to make an opening in the connective tissue. Yeah, so there it goes. So So we should be able to find the ureter. So this is the kidneys, of course, produce urine. So we're looking for the tube-like structure that would carry the urine. Okay, there's a good chance that this is the one of the ureters here. It's kind of a tube-like structure here coming off. Here's another one here. So the way you can tell it's the ureter is it should take you down towards the bladder. Let's find the bladder. So the bladder is going to be unpaired, so it's going to be a structure in the very center. So for example, this is most likely the bladder right here. So if we follow this structure here, see there's a white tube here. There's a good chance that that's probably the ureter. It's going down towards the bladder. I haven't found the one on the other side, but we're looking for the same sort of a thing. We're looking for a tube-like structure. That would take the urine down to the bladder. Okay, so I think that's kind of it for the kidneys. Let me see. The instructions say that we should cut one of the kidneys open. So let's get in a little bit further with this kidney here. So if you have a rat that has the arteries filled with red latex, the blood supply for the kidney. So it comes in right about here. So that I believe that is the artery. It's just a little hard to see because it's under some connective tissue here. Let's get this kidney a little bit more free. Yeah, that certainly looks like it's the ureter here. There's a tube right here that's going down towards the bladder. Done by the arteries and veins. So let's go ahead and remove this kidney. We'll leave the other one in place. Actually, now we can see the ureter better, now that I've got the kidney kind of out. So that's the ureter. So you see that tube? Okay. So that's headed down towards the bladder. I'm going to go ahead and cut that so we can remove the kidney. Alright, so we have the kidney now. So what we're going to do is use a scalpel to cut the kidney in half. Okay, again we can see the adrenal gland, it's a little bit, we might have lost a bit of it, but it should be right here. There's still a little bit of the adrenal gland up here on top. Okay. Now we're going to cut through the kidney with the scalpel to look inside. And again, it's got this sort of bean-like appearance. It's very small because this is a rat. So you have the cortex of the kidney on the outer bit outside here, and we have the medulla, and it's a little hard to see differentiate the two here. And let's see, so you can actually sort of see it here. So again, there's a renal pelvis here. This is where the urine would be collected, and then it goes into the ureter, which is shown here, okay, which is there. So that's pretty much it for the kidneys. The next video will go a little bit more into the reproductive system.